All right, hey everyone, time for another malt review. This is Mike, I'm Narby.
What's up?
Today we are doing a 30-year-old whiskey, Talisker 30. Very exciting.
I believe that's 2012 release, so it's a pretty recent release. They've had several the past, like 2004, I think, maybe a little older to recent. This one is 45.8%, so same percentage as today's Talisker 10, Talisker 18. 30 years is a mix of bourbon and European sherry oak. So we're probably looking at a nice balance of both elements, with probably still the same, Talisker, salty, coastal, peaty elements. See how it goes.
All right.
It's definitely a little darker, darker gold than the Talisker 10 and 18.
Yeah, this is full gold. Instead of light gold, full gold. We just reviewed the Talisker 18 actually, so we're excited to just compare them back to back.
Beautiful color. Check out the nose.
Oh wow. It's so much more than the 18 was. It's so much thicker and with honey. It's just got a lot of honey. I actually got a lot of that right away, like a Balvenie kind of honey.
To me, the jump is huge. Like the 10 to 18 jump is not that much. That's why I think Talisker 10 is a great deal, great gem at an entry level price. But the jump to the 30, I think, is huge. Grand Canyon. And I taste, with the age, 30 years old, so much more of the sherry elements than in the 18.
At least within our reviews, you hear us say bitter orange a lot anytime sherry influence in there. Not bitter orange this time, very, very sweet orange. I don't know if you've ever had blood orange. Very, very sweet orange.
Juicy, sweet, juicy, and succulent orange slices, just bursting with juice.
Mango, apricot, peach.
Actually reminds me, the juicy, the fresh orange, not the bitter, it reminds me of Starburst fruit candies.
Yes, it's
like
very candied.
Very sweet, juicy fruits, tropical and orchard.
Very, very candied, which is basically when we say crystallized something, we mean it's candied.
Plethora of fruits, every delicious fruit you can think of.
It's not very peaty. It's extremely light peat. The 18-year-old that we just reviewed is more peaty than this one, at least on the nose. Do you feel the same way?
Same way. It's like I can't see the mix. This was bottled 2012, by the way. I can't see the mix on here of bourbon to sherry, but right now it's like 75% sherry casks and 25% bourbon.
I agree. It's like one of those malts again that you just don't want to start drinking it yet because it's so pleasurable on the nose. And I'm sure a lot of you will agree, those of you who drink a lot of whiskey, the nose is like 60% of it for me and the palate is 40% of it. Where when I just originally started drinking whiskey, it was almost 100% for the palate and almost nothing about the nose, and then you slowly start training yourself about nosing whiskey, and it's such a pleasure. Your nose can experience so much more than your palate can, so spend time with your whiskeys is my advice.
Usually some of our favorite whiskeys are peaty Islay whiskeys like Lagavulin, Ardbeg, Laphroaig that are heavily sherried. And this kind of reminds me of that because I'm not getting the very dominant, salty, coastal, peaty elements. It's very light and underlying. It's there. It's kind of in the background, but it's very light and underlying against the stronger sherry notes, and I love that. It's a great balance.
I'm getting vanilla ice cream.
Spend a lot of time with this nose. If we had more time, we'd give it half an hour of air because it's changing so much.
I'm getting nice sea air, sea salt. Grapefruit candy, lemon drops.
Definitely like crystallized mango, grapefruit, lemon. Even like crystallized candied herbs like ginger candy. Very unique.
Light hints of leather, mahogany, a little candle.
Very complex.
Very, very complex. It's delicious. It's amazing. This bottle has gotten better.
With it?
Yes, absolutely. On the palate.
Wow.
Very earthy on the palate. Spicy a little bit. A little bitter from the 30 years that it's spent in wood. A little chocolate. A little vanilla. A little salty. Some oysters. That sweet blood orange I was getting on my nose is turning into bitter orange on my palate. Wow.
I get a little bit in the background. Well, I definitely get immediately black pepper on the back of my palate, spiciness. I get a little bit initially of that dryness, the bitter wood from the 30 years. So that would be the main imperfection if you want to be really critical. But once that goes away, those orchard fruits mainly, the apricot, the plum, the apple, I get those magnificently and intense on the palate. And that's one thing that really sticks out. It's really nice. I get a little bit more of the typical Talisker coastal salty oyster lemon butter elements, very creamy mouthfeel, but it's amazing the way that they've been able to conjure those orchard fruits out of this, because that's one of my favorite things. I love it.
On a second taste, I'm getting more chocolatey, very light caramel, some more vanilla, lemon, light oyster, clams, shellfish kind of taste going on. Again, some nice mahogany wood. Not that I've ever tasted wood, but when I've smelled wood, I feel like that's on my palate. It's very drying on the palate. Tannins. It's very good. When I'm scoring this whiskey, I'm viewing it two ways. One is the nose, which I think it's a spectacular whiskey on the nose. It's such a pleasure to have on the nose. And not that it's not an amazing pleasure on the palate. I do enjoy it on the palate, but it's not an extreme wow for me on the palate. So on the nose for me, it's a 94. On the palate for me, it's a 90. So if you average those two out, I give it a 92 out of 100.
I think I tend to I agree with Narby on the nose. I think I tend to like it a little more on the palate, so I'll give it a point higher. I give it 93. I don't get the dry, bitter wood as much. I really get those orchard fruits very powerfully, so I give it an extra point for that, so 93.
Awesome. All right, Talisker 30-year-old.
Try it.